Okay, so this is what it looks like outside today. We have ourselves a blizzard. And I have time to brew a beer, but I don't have the weather. So I'm gonna actually make a Mangrove Jack's pouch beer today. And I'm gonna show you how I do it. With Mangrove Jack's pouches, you need 2.2 pounds of corn sugar, or 1 kilo of corn sugar. The pouch is full of liquid malt and it has the yeast in it. And I've done this beer before by the directions. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add some dry malt. That's 1/4 pound of dry malt. And I'm going to make this a pumpkin beer. I just heard some thunder snow. I thought it was a plow outside, but it's not. So what I'm gonna do is I have a little bit over, I have a few quarts of water in my pan, my kettle here, and I'm gonna get this up to a boil. Normally what you would do for the regular recipe is 3 quarts of water, set it to a boil, then you dissolve everything in it, turn off the heat, dissolve everything, and then put it in your carboy or your fermenter. But what I'm going to do first is, since this is a little different, I have some baked and mashed sweet pumpkin here that I've frozen. So I'm going to add this frozen pumpkin to the water and let it boil a little bit with the water and heat up. Because I did some research on how to create a pumpkin beer. And a lot of people will just bake a pumpkin, mash it, a sweet pumpkin, mash it up, and then add it to their boil. Since these Mangrove Jack's pouches don't boil, I'm gonna boil it a little bit first. So I'm gonna let this go maybe like 10 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, so here we are. We have our pumpkin and water boiling away here. It smells pretty tasty. I have just cut open the top of the Mangrove Jack's pouch. I'm gonna show you the inside of it. I think the malt in here smells pretty tasty too. So you'll see that there's 2 sides to this pouch. One side has the liquid malt extract, and the other side has the yeast and the directions. So before you open your pouch up to get your instructions, just make sure it's on a flat surface so that it doesn't fall over and you lose all the malt. It's kind of funny that they have the instructions in there, right? So this has this yeast, one of the UK dark ale yeast. And here are the directions. So now what I'm gonna do is I've turned off the heat to my pumpkin mash that's in there right now. I'm just gonna add my liquid malt, dissolve that, and then I'm gonna dissolve my sugars. But I'll set it back up again, set the camera back up again so you can see. Okay, I'm gonna see if this angle is the right one. I have the fan on because some of the steam is coming out and I don't want the house to get totally full of steam. Usually I do brew my beers inside, except this is the only one I can do inside. So let's see. Okay, so now I'm gonna get the liquid malt out of the pouch and start and dissolve it into the wort, as they call it. Okay, so here's the pouch. I'm gonna pour it in. pretty sticky and it's thick because it's concentrated. And this pouch actually makes 6 gallons of beer. Most of the normal kits you find make, or the ones that you put together at the brew store, make 5 gallons. So this does make more. So what I do is I keg part of it and then bottle part of it, and then I can tell the difference. You know, I compare. Do I like it keg better than bottled? So far, I really like the ciders bottled better than kegged. But see, it's really sticky, and when it warms up, it becomes a little thinner, sort of like molasses. Now I'm just stirring it in. And I want to squeeze out all the goodness. This does smell really nice now. The malt's getting warm. Okay, so I've squeezed out all the liquid malt. I'm just stirring it up. See, it's nice and brown now. And I'm gonna add my sugar. And the dry malt extract, the amber, for an added punch. Now, like I said, I've done this recipe before, so I know that I want to add little things to it. I think you should always do the recipe the way it's written first, and then you can decide if you want to change it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this until I get all that dry malt extract. See all the little bubbles there? Well, they're like the dried extract that hasn't been dissolved yet. So I'm going to mix this until I get that all dissolved. Okay, so I have everything dissolved, and in my carboy, I have my funnel. I already have a couple gallons of water in there. And now I'm just going to pour this wort into the carboy. Now, if you have a nice big fermenter like you can get with the brew kits that we have at the store, you don't even have to do this. You can just pour everything right into your big fermenter, stir it and dissolve it all together. But I don't have one of those, so I actually have all this other equipment that makes it a little more difficult. I have to make it pretty foamy. Nice sound effects, huh? Okay, so that's in there. Now I'm just gonna fill this up to 6 gallons, which will be about here, with water, cold water, rest of the way. And then I'm gonna pitch my yeast. And now it's ready to go. And I will probably cover this up with a little carboy cozy that I make to protect my beer from the light. I'll also put on an airlock to keep the bad stuff out, so the beer will ferment without getting any bacteria in it. Okay, so it's pretty easy with these pouches. You can get a beer going really fast. What I like about it is that I can do this even after I've come home from work or something. So it's pretty easy. So there it is. Looking good. Okay, so I've just pitched the yeast in. It actually just sort of spread across the top of the beer. I'm going to now put the cover on, the airlock. So to do that, I've just sterilized it, and actually I have sterilizing solution in my airlock as well. So there we go. Now it's ready to go. So I mentioned that I can't see. Hold on. Oops. Okay, so there. Now it has sterilizing solution in it. There's the airlock. That was my brace for the camera, but that's okay. So I told you I use a carboy cozy, I call them. These are things that I make that fit around the carboy, so that you can protect your beer from light, but also I used to use old t-shirts and all kinds of stuff, and now if I do it up in the kitchen, it looks it's not really that nice, right, to have these old t-shirts or old towels wrapped around a carboy. So I designed these so that they'd fit around a carboy, 6-gallon or 5-gallon, and they look a little bit nicer. And then what I have here is a pocket, so that I can put in the pocket like what's inside, when I did it, if I've changed the recipe at all, how I've changed it. And then I always know, like, okay, so in, how many days do I have to rack it? How many days ahead what do I want to do with it next? So I'll have the date on there. I can just look at it. So I put the pockets in on the outside of the carboy, so you can keep track of who's in what. Isn't that cool? Well, I think it's pretty cool. So there it is. It's all ready to go. So easy. Anyone can do it. So think about making your own beer sometime. It's really a lot of fun. See you later. Oh, and probably this will be on sample down at the Agway. So if you want to try a pumpkin ale like this, just let me know when it's ready. I'll let you know.